Hello there, internets. So, done with the farm stuff this year. Sorry I've been away the past couple of weeks. Just been busy with that and other stuff that's going on in the real world at the moment. However, I thought that I would take a moment out here today and take a look at Elite Dangerous, essentially a month after the release of the 2.4 patch. And to give you an idea of how engaging these new Thargoid storylines are, well, here I am on my jump into Colonia. And this is VR capture going on in the background. I don't have the cropping quite right. I have it cropped at the top instead of the bottom. Again, still trying to figure out how to best capture Oculus Rift content. Bear with me, it is very much still a work in progress as far as that is concerned. So what do I think of 2.4 thus far? Well, out of the gate, it was strong. And I was hoping that we would be seeing more of these encounters that I'm going to call them, like the USSs that you drop in that have the Thargoids in them. And you do have a variety of ways to interact with them, whether you drop them meta alloys and make them happy, guardian artifacts and make them mad, or, just kind of start shooting at them because, hey, we have AX missiles and we can do that. The first week in particular, I found myself grouping up with just random people that ordinarily wouldn't and winging up in Super Cruise, or going on various TeamSpeaks and Discords and grouping up with people there in order to fight Thargoids. I thought it was a wonderful first multi-stage boss fight raid type instance for groups of players to engage in for the first time, really since the game had released. And I was hoping to see some follow through and follow up on that, and so far we haven't. Instead, what we got was a series of community goals to unlock stuff, including one community goal. Apparently, I didn't follow things too closely as I was, again, down at the farm, and at any rate, that was to an outpost that needed a black market in order to sell some of the materials that were being solicited, and it didn't have a black market. And that's just like, you gotta be kidding me. I don't mind having community goals set to outposts, in which the people with biggest ships don't always, then, it gives people still in the Cobras and Adders and Type 7s and stuff, or I guess not Type 7s. Is Type 7 medium or large? I can't remember anymore. Type 6s, ASPs, Pythons, things of that nature. It gives those players that are still grinding their way up kind of a unique experience that just can't be dominated by us longtime bitter vets with our cutters and corvettes and anacondas. But at any rate, it's one of those things that the fact that it was at an outpost without a black market in one of the items that was required or was being accepted needed a black market, it's just like, really? You've had these for 2.5 years. You've had community goals for 2.5 years. And you're still making rookie basic oversight mistakes? Really? And the fact that we've only gotten one encounter. Now, I didn't expect there to be a brand new encounter every week, but I was expecting them to expand that out about every 2 weeks. And I think we're going to see this pattern emerge. We'll see what happens this week with the updates and stuff. And I suspect that once a month, they're going to be adding a new encounter. I don't know what that'll be this month. Maybe it's Thargoids start to attack stations, and there's a new way of interacting with slightly different game mechanics where we have to fend off Thargoids from stations. I can hope, but I think that that's going to be the pattern that we're going to see. Oh, well, they're attacking stations now, and they kind of have, but haven't. There's been mega ships that have been destroyed that you can go to and visit their wrecks, but you don't actually see the Thargoids in the process of destroying said mega ship. So it's still just an asset that's been flipped, for lack of a better term, into something slightly different as opposed to actually new content to engage in and engage with. Just like these INRA bases or INARA bases or however you pronounce them, there's no gameplay element there funneling people. I said this before. If the INARA storyline was this, that you complete a series of missions for whatever faction it is, minor faction, major faction, that after doing a chain of 4 or 5 missions, you get this tip-off. Hey, old Georgie over here says that he was part of this INRA thing back in the day and claims, and he always claimed that the Thargoids were real, and frankly, we just thought he was on the sauce and, didn't really believe him. But now that the Thargoids are back, he says that there was this secret base that he used to deliver shit to at these coordinates. Maybe you should go check it out. And you go check it out, get the audio logs, bring it back to whomever this contact is at a station, get a 5 million credit voucher bonus for doing that as a mission. Maybe it is there somewhere and I just haven't got the mission or something like that. That would have turned the Enra bases as they are today from what I consider to be assets into content with gameplay behind it. And this is where Frontier is really missing that boat significantly. I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. I think what's going to happen, and this is my bold prediction, is that this week, the first week of November, we'll get a new encounter type of some kind that will once again reset the tables against the Thargoids and show them to be even bigger and more powerful. Maybe a new ship type, or Thargoid ship type. And this will lead to a series of community goals that will reveal new armor and the Type 10 Defender maybe at the end of that. And coming at the 1st of December, that'll be the content where we get to use the Type 10 Defender, probably likely to defend mega ships and stations from Thargoid attacks. I'm hoping, I don't know if that's exactly what it's going to be, but that's going to be my prediction, is that we'll see a major new encounter type added to the game about once a month and followed up by more community goal bullshit that's kind of been there, done that. That's a large part of the reason why I'm still at Colonia. In fact, I took a look at the pacing of which this content was being delivered and decided, you know what? I can take my laptop down to the farm, and even on its crappy DSL connection, and it's an aging laptop at this point, I can do exploration just fine. So I've never been out to Colonia. I think even if I go out there and it takes me 3 weeks to get there and another 3 weeks to get back, then I'm not going to miss any major in-game events or content. That's just how I feel about things. And that's why I'm at Colonia. In fact, I will probably spend a couple of weeks out here at Colonia. I don't know, maybe I say a couple of weeks. It might just be the weekend before I start heading back. And it'll probably take me quite a few hours to get back and quite a few days, because I'm probably only going to play an hour or two at most a night. And I think it's about 12 hours if you don't stop and smell the roses, as it were, if you're just jump honking. Don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to head up a couple thousand light years and then head across or head down. I guess that's all kind of relative. But I don't know. It's just one of those things that there's some missing opportunities here, and their glacier pace is not helping things. And I've seen some comments that were kind of interesting, that people kind of called them on the fact that, hey, I wonder if they stopped giving out CGs because they realized that the community was getting very tired of just community, nothing special here. Just yet another community goal. At this point, why should I care? That's kind of how I feel about it. Oh, well, it's just available at more planet types. Okay, so long as we get to Tier 1, who the hell cares? We can just go find a scientific or military base or whatever it is, get whatever we need. Oh, hey, if we do get it up to Tier 3 and get it in planetary industrial bases, all the better. But, one of those things. So what? Somewhat more limited to find the gear that's only really effective against Thargoids. Okay, so everybody fits out their Thargoid ship and then brings it to the fight if it's needed. We still haven't seen the corrosive resistant armor yet. Well, we saw it and then it was a mistake and taken away again. But that's supposedly supposed to be coming. The Type 10 Defender. I don't think we'll see the Type 10 until December. I think that'll be an end of the year kind of, oh, look, here's your Christmas gift, a new ship. I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see at this point. I hope it gets better. I hope that we have more of these encounters. And I really hope that they're taking notes, and I've not seen them engage And I will probably do a video here this week, later in this week, on my thoughts on what I saw in the Frontier Expo. And I really hope they start engaging with the community, especially on Reddit. And I think the subreddit community almost needs to go and invade their forums, although with some of the moderators and stuff there, that if you're not just, bowing down before the altar of Braben, very tough to get your points across, I think. That being said, I haven't really engaged with the forums all that much, and maybe I need to get a little bit more engaged in the forums to hopefully get more different opinions. But if a concerted group of players came in from the subreddit and made a concerted effort to raise some of these issues, and I think that they know that they're out there, and see what gets addressed over the course of the next year, I don't know. I'm probably still going to be doing a major video here in December that'll be Elite Dangerous 3 years later, and hopefully by that time we'll see what some more of these encounters are like. And I think it's a shame that it's going to take them 3 years since the release of the game in order to go back and address some of the core issues with the gameplay itself and the design of the game. That I just have this nagging feeling that it's going to be a little bit too little too late. That there are other titles on the horizon, pun intended, that could sink this ship. Dual Universe is starting to look kind of interesting. Again, I think they still got some technical hurdles to overcome. I don't think Star Citizen is going to be as big of this great threat that a lot of people claim, because what I'm seeing there is a bunch of elements that didn't they just show something like an 8-minute travel scene, and people in Elite, say that traveling for 5 or 10 minutes in Super Cruise and whatnot in Elite is defeating and boring and stuff like that. Imagine being stuck at a loading screen not for 30 seconds, but 8 minutes essentially. I don't know. I've often said that a lot of the people who didn't like certain aspects about Elite Dangerous were going to go play Star Citizen someday, and within a few days or weeks would be having the same complaints over there about some of the stuff. But we'll see. Till then, be sure to like, subscribe, all of that good jazz around here, and I'll see you next time.